up, YouTube? Welcome back to Buzzards On Site. Today we are doing a fuel pump on a 98 Ram 2500 with a 360 gas motor, 5.9 liter. And yep, you guessed it, it's mine. Truck died on me coming home today, so I know what I get to do. Start off with, make sure you're on flat level ground. That way when you get under here, you don't have to worry about the truck rolling forward on you or anything like that. Make sure you disconnect the negative battery cable on your truck. That way it doesn't short out or arc back here by any chance. I have a visitor. Hello, Tobias. We have two cats almost with identical names. Hello, Doodle Bias. All right, let's get into this video. So once you're finally under the truck, the first thing you're going to do is unplug your harness going to the fuel pump, which is this right here. In that plug, when you go to undo it, there will be a red lock tab, which is this right here. You will push it out of the plug. Actually, it comes out this way. Once you do that, you'll push the little tab here, push it down, and pull the plug off. You can lean it back here out of your way. The next thing you're going to do is your main fuel feed line right here. You're going to take and squeeze these two ends together and pull your fuel line off. When you squeeze these together, it pulls the teeth out of the holes on the fuel line, and you can easily remove it. Right. So once you get your main fuel feed line off and undo your harness, there's an evap plug right here, and the same principle applies as it did on this one. You squeeze the two tabs together and pull the line off. This line goes to your evap canister on the other side of the frame. Now, once you do that, you're going to come to your vent hose going to your fuel neck. On mine, it's a 7mm hose clamp, and also the same over here on the fuel neck feed line. You're going to remove those two. So let me do that real fast, and then I'll catch back up with you. I do not own the copyrights to the music in the background, but here's a little look of taking everything apart. Probably going to have to replace, oh no. Probably going to have to replace this hose clamp because it looks a little bit rusted, so better to play it safe than sorry when doing stuff like this. This thing is pretty well eat up with corrosion and rust and all that stuff. So, truck came out of West Virginia, and riding the mountain roads and everything up there probably did not help it in its life. So, next step is to get that damn fuel hose off. I'm now removing the hose for the fuel neck off of the fuel neck itself, and I will see if I can get it off of here and then get that hose off to replace that clamp, because as you can clearly see, it's pretty well rusted right there at the very front. So I'd rather not take chances with that. I have now made the capital decision. I've just loosened this up, and when we drop the tank down, it'll just pull the hose off of the fuel neck this way. That way I'm not fighting this. I've got it tightened back up so I don't have to worry about that. Next step, we're going to come under here to the other side. Grab the flashlight. And what we're going to do next is pull our fuel tank straps. So one is right there, the other is right here. Now before we go getting crazy and everything, I have made this. This is a tray that I can put on my jack to support the weight of the fuel tank. My jack is sitting here. I've got a 4-ton Daytona jack. You don't need one that big, it's just what I've got. But what we're going to do is use this plate to go under the tank and hold the pressure on it while we pull the fuel tank straps off.
One eternity later.
Okay, so we left off yesterday with pulling the fuel tank straps. It is a new day. It is about 30-40 degrees outside and cold as all get out with the wind. I was going to record the rest of the process of getting the tank out and down. I had to get some help from my father-in-law and didn't want him on camera, so I'll just go over what we did. As I was saying yesterday, we were going to pull the fuel tank straps. That nut right there is a 15 millimeter. And this one over here, if the original stud was still being used, is a 15 millimeter as well. Had to put in a temporary bolt because the nut was never here for the original stud. But once you pull them straps out, you're going to want to put your jack about center right here with a piece of wood or the plate leaned up against the tire right there that I showed you yesterday, and slowly work it down. As you slowly bring the tank down, if you do what I done, you'll pull your vent hose off and you can lay it beside the frame, undo the hose clamp here on your fuel neck, and as the tank comes down, you can slide this rubber hose off of the fuel neck and let it go over the frame. Now, once you get your fuel tank out, that white cap that goes around the top of the fuel pump, you'll have to have I used a little pry bar and a hammer. You can use a flathead screwdriver, just be careful. Where it's thin, it may puncture a hole or bust the cap. But what you want to do is tap it off, and then you'll be able to pull your fuel pump out. Right here is the old fuel pump. Come to find out, this is a 98 Ram. This is the original fuel pump from Ram. So it's lived a good life. It's 2026 now, it's a 98, so it's 2 years shy of being 30 years old. So I give it credit. It lasted a pretty good while. I'd say if you could, or somebody had the smarts more than me, you could probably take this apart and put a new fuel pump in it and put it back in. But there's your old tank, or old fuel pump. A little bit of advice: when you go to pull these straps, I don't know if you can see that one, but you can see this one here. That hole, there's a little T shape at the very front of it, closest to the tank. When you pull your straps loose with your jack holding your fuel tank up, you can let the straps hang down. This pushes this little bar, or whatever you want to call it, inside of this strap holder. It lets it free. So what you want to do is you want to take the back of this strap and push it up towards that little T-hole. And what you can do is push it forward, pull the front of it back, and pop it straight out. It goes the same on both sides. Best thing to do when you go to putting the tank back in it: get your jack centered, raise up your tank, get the front lined up good. Go ahead and put your front strap on first. That way it doesn't want to try and slide off towards the front of the truck while you're trying to do the stuff on the back. What you can do once you do that is get up here, and I used, with the jack sitting there, I took my knee and put under here to hold pressure and push up to line that strap back up with the bolt. And once you get your tank set back in here and your straps put back on and tight, you can hook up all your lines in the reverse process of what I showed you yesterday. I've got to get a new hose clamp for that one because it's stripped out, so we'll put a new clamp on that. Got the vent hose hooked back up where it needs to be. Got the evap line plugged back in. And for those wondering where your evap canister is, the line runs off the back of the tank, runs over the cross member on the bed, runs up the passenger side frame rail, comes up to your evap canister and charcoal box right here on the passenger side under the back of the cab. So that pretty much explains how to do a new fuel pump and drop your tank and everything in your 98, well, your 94 to 02 second gen Dodge Ram pickup. just another little quick tidbit for you. The only tools that you should need to do this job is number one, a jack, some form of plate or piece of wood that you can set under the tank to support it, a 15mm socket to pull your fuel tank straps loose, I think this is a 10-inch extension, 3/8. I've got a 3/8 impact. You can use a 3/8 ratchet to undo everything under the bottom. I prefer to use power tools. You'll also need, I had a 1/4-inch set with a 7mm on it, deep well, to do the hoses and everything. Yep, 7mm deep well, 1/4-inch to undo your hose clamps for your filler neck and for the vent tube coming from the tank to your fuel neck. All in all, it is a simple job. Shouldn't take too long to do once you get started on it. Hang on just a second, bear with me, I'm trying to adjust the camera. But once you get started on it, all in all, if you do it all in one day, it should take you about an hour and a half, depending on how full your tank is and how many buddies you've got to be able to come and help you. Like I said, I would have recorded the rest of the process of dropping the tank, getting it out, changing out the fuel pump and all that, but out of respect for my father-in-law, I didn't want to put him on camera. So I'll just give you a quick rundown. I pretty much got over everything yesterday of how to get it disassembled to drop the tank. So if you have any questions or any comments, leave them. I will be glad to get back to you on them. If you saw anything that you have a question about on the bottom of the truck or want to know more about, leave a comment. I'll be glad to answer it. Y'all, I appreciate you for joining in for another video with Buzzards On Site. Dang camera cut out. Anyway, y'all have a good day. Have any questions, comments, concerns, drop them in the comments section. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and follow, and hit that bell. That way you can keep up with me as I post new videos. We'll see y'all in the next one. Thank you.